Scene script. Imagine this scenario. A person accidentally touches a live electrical wire. There's a sudden yelp of surprise and pain as they jerk back, the victim of an electric shock. Now you might be wondering, what just happened? It's all about the flow of electricity. Picture electrons racing through a conductor, in this case, the human body. But why us? Simple, our bodies are rich in water and salt, perfect electrolytes for conducting electricity. But what exactly happens when we get an electric shock? Electricity is, in essence, a flow of electrons through a conductor. Now let's break that down a bit. Picture a bustling city with people moving here and there, going about their day. In our scenario, the city is the conductor, and the people are the electrons. Just as people move along streets and sidewalks, electrons move along conductors. Conductors can be anything that allows electrons to flow freely. Copper wires, for instance, are excellent conductors, making them a common choice for electrical wiring. But what prompts these electrons to move in the first place? Well, that's where voltage comes in. Voltage is essentially the push or force that drives the electrons along the conductor. Think of it as a bustling crowd behind you, urging you forward. The speed at which these electrons move, or the number of electrons passing a certain point per second, is what we refer to as current. The higher the current, the more electrons are moving, and therefore the stronger the electricity. Now, when we touch a live wire, something interesting happens. We too become conductors. Our bodies, made up of around 60% water and filled with electrolytes like sodium and potassium, are surprisingly good at conducting electricity. When we come into contact with a live wire, the electrons see a new path to the ground, through us. So, they rush through our bodies, and this rapid movement of electrons is what makes us jolt back, experiencing what we call an electric shock. When we touch a live wire, we become part of this electron flow, leading to what we know as an electric shock. Why does electricity flow through our bodies? It's all about being a good conductor. You see, our bodies are fantastic conductors of electricity, and the reason for this is surprisingly simple. It's because we're mostly made up of water. Over half of the human body is composed of water, and it's this water that allows electricity to flow through us. But there's another element at play here: salt. Our bodies are not just full of water, but salty water. Salt dissolved in water separates into ions, which are positively or negatively charged. These ions allow electricity to move through the water in our bodies, making us effective conductors. So, when an electrical current from an external source, like a live wire, comes into contact with us, it sees an opportunity. It sees a path of least resistance, a clear route through the water and salt in our bodies, and takes it. This is why when we touch a live wire, we get shocked. The severity of an electric shock isn't the same every time. It depends on a few factors. Now you may be wondering, what determines the severity of an electric shock? Well, it's primarily about the amount of electrical current that flows through the body and the path it takes. Think of electricity like a river. A small stream can be easy to cross, causing little more than a splash. This is akin to a mild shock, where a small amount of current flows through the body. It may be startling, certainly, but typically not harmful. However, things change when the river swells. Suddenly, that easy stream becomes a raging torrent. Now, crossing it is not just difficult, but dangerous. This is similar to a large amount of current flowing through the body. It's no longer just a jolt. It's a severe shock that can cause serious harm, or even be fatal. And just like the path a river takes can change its impact, the same is true for electricity. If the current flows through vital organs, such as the heart or the brain, even a relatively small amount can be lethal. So while the human body is a good conductor of electricity, it's not something we want to test. While small shocks might startle us, larger ones can be deadly. Always be careful around electricity. Getting shocked isn't the end of the story. What happens next is crucial. After the shock, the body may suffer from burns or heart rhythm issues. It's vital to seek immediate medical attention. The medical professional will check vital signs, treat burns, and monitor for any internal injuries. This quick response can make a significant difference in recovery. The aftermath of an electric shock isn't to be taken lightly. Remember, safety first. Always be cautious around electricity to avoid getting shocked.